Ladies, have you ever thought about how much money we spend in the salon getting our nails done? We spend anywhere from 50, 60, $80 or more just to get a manicure. That's about $160 a month, and that's not including our pedicure. So today I'm going to show you how to do a dip powder manicure at home. So before we do all of that, we want to make sure we have our nails are prepped and clean and ready to dip. So I have everything here to show you how to do this. It's very easy. First of all, we're going to start with our base coat, and we will apply that to our nail, and then we will dip that in the build powder. Just tap it off. Normally we have a brush, but sometimes if the base is still too wet, it will streak. So I don't personally use a brush. I just tap it off onto the container. So once we do the base and add the build powder, we will put another coat of base on top of that. And then we will dip it into our color powder. And same thing, I normally don't brush at this point. Again, it leaves streaks, and really don't need to brush. Just tap it and make sure that it goes back into the container. So once we do the collar, we'll add another base, and dip it in the collar once more, and tap. Very easy. So once we do that, we have the activator. And when we apply the activator to that, we will wait 5 minutes. Okay, so we've waited 5 minutes after applying the activator, and normally with these kits, they will send you a buffer. It's just your basic file with 2 different sides on it. But for me, it doesn't work good enough. There's too much elbow grease that needs to go into that. So I found it easier for me to buy one of these personal manicure sets. And it really gets the detail of the nail, and you've got different points here to where you can first use the cone shape buffer, which I use first, to kind of smooth it out and make sure everything is smooth and shaped very well. And normally before I do this, I lay a wet washcloth down. That way the nail dust will fall into the wet washcloth and not all over everything. So you get quite a bit of nail dust when you do this. So you just want to buff the nail down, and get it shaped up really, really well. The more you use this and the more that you do it, it's going to get easier. So at first it might take a little bit of time, but again, with each application and each manicure that you do, it's going to get easier. So practice makes perfect, right? So this is what we're doing. It's making sure that when we do this every time, we get our perfect manicure at home. And it really doesn't take a lot. It just, probably the second time that you do it is better than the first, is better than, each time you do it. So it's really good to do this more often. Alright, so we've got basically the nail buffed down on top. So we're gonna change the tip so I can get into the creases and kind of fancy that up a little bit. So the first one that we used was the cone shape file, and this will be the pointed detail file. So I could get into the creases and on the sides a little bit better. Okay, and so once we get that done, we will wash our hands. Don't use any soap, just run water over your hands. Okay, so after we wash our hands, we will apply a second activator to the nail. And after the second activator application, we'll wait 1 minute. And after applying their second activator application, we will do our first top coat application. Sometimes I only do one. This is a really good top coat. It's really thick, and it usually only takes one application. So depending on type of applicator, top coat that you have, you may want to apply a second coat. I only do one coat because this one is really thick. And that will be it. That's all of the steps it takes to do a dip powder application at home. It will save you tons of money, and you could do it in the convenience of your own home. And there's also sites where you can get different colors, different dip powders. And the best thing about this is it saves you so much money. So I hope you enjoyed this process today, and I hope it finds you well in your life and saves you lots of money and time from the salon. Thank you.